Nole Nation, we are live from the barn, folks. Live from the barn, man. I can't wake everybody up in the house. This one's a little late today. Guys, let me know if the audio is all right. I'm trying to do my best with the background noise. I've got a freaking dirt track a mile from the house. It's loud as hell. But hey, how about those Noles? Finally get a victory over Cal. I'll take it, guys. I'm going to take it today. I'm going to take it tomorrow. I'm going to take it the next day. How about that defense? The Florida State defense came out there, and they really showed what was what tonight out there. Couldn't be prouder of what the defense did. I mean, all game. It seemed like the only time that we couldn't stop Cal was like 4th and 18 or 3rd and 19 or something of that nature. So huge shout out to Adam Fuller. The defense, the young guys actually stepping up. Edwin Joseph makes a huge pick. He's been one of the guys that has been calling for playing time. Hashtag free the youngins, all those things. Lawayne McCoy didn't get a chance to show off the other ringleader of that. I don't know if he was a decoy on the punt, but it made him look bad, calling for the fair catch, and then it ended up being like a 70-yard punt. But we won't get too stuck on that. I could not be more fired up about the defense. So we're not going to talk about the offense. I'm going to make a rule. I'm at least 10 minutes. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to tell you good things about the defense before we get into the offense because, guys, not so good there. But I'm going to stop. I have been very critical of both Daryl Jackson and Joshua Farmer all year. I've said, man, you need to get back in the 44. Daryl Jackson, I've called for him to be benched. You need to put Daryl Lyons in there. But let me tell you what, you earned your 5 in my book. You earned whatever money they given you. Josh Farmer looked great. He gave effort all night long. He was playing his absolute ass off. It's so weird. Like, it really is. Like, I'd love to go back and look at the stats and look at the box score real quick. But, man, on regular downs, Cal had almost zero success tonight. All of their success was on guaranteed passing downs, 3rd and 12, 4th and 16. It really was nuts. That running back they got, Jaden Ott, it looked like he started to get going there in the fourth quarter. Had me a little worried there as they were driving down. But in the end, the defense stepped up and made a play. They kept pushing them backwards and backwards. You had the goal line stand where they had like 4 false starts in a row, kind of back to back to back to back. So, yeah, man. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'll try to answer them. But yeah, on the first watch through, I just could not be more fired up for this defense. Who else? The linebackers. Did anybody notice the linebacker out of position all night? Blake got beat by their top receiver, or he's a tight end, but one of their top guys, I think, on a really tough play. But he was in decent enough coverage. Shaheem Brown got beat on a deep ball, but again, pretty damn good coverage. He was in position, just didn't quite make a play. The wide receiver made a play. But all night, this defense kept getting put back on the field, put back on the field, put back on the field. And they don't give a touchdown up all night. Or do they? No, they don't. Three field goals. And then, if you want to talk about special teams for those blocks, I guess that's fine. But, man, that's the starting defense that was in there on that field goal block too. So for them to get down there and then to block the field goal, man, another one. Number 16 was balling at DB. Yeah, we talked a lot about Quindarius Jones coming into the year, and he balled out. Is AZ hurt? I'm not sure. I've seen him out there. I'm pretty sure he was on the special teams play there where they blocked the punt. I may be mistaken. Kevin Noles, he missed some tackles. There's nothing that I saw that made me just, go heads over heels for him. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I didn't see Juice flashing a lot tonight, but I think he was just playing his assignment. I'll have to go back and watch the tape. But there's no doubt that Edwin Joseph really made his presence felt. He got that ticky-talk. He was trying to punch the ball out. And this quarterback slide rule is one of the worst rules in football, to where these quarterbacks slide as you're trying to make a play on the ball. And then they lower their strike point. It's like it's such a second thing, and it was obvious he was trying to punch the ball out, but whatever, he misses and he hits the quarterback's head. So that was another one of the kind of mistakes. Maurice Smith had something, was it a false start or a bad snap that cost us a 4th down conversion there, but that was just one little mistake. They got 69 on a holding that I thought was questionable. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, well, that could be a hold because the guy started to turn around. But then the ball ran right between him. He had him completely squared, and he just pancaked him. So the only thing I could think they called holding on that was when he first got a hold of him, but it was a bullshit call. I'm not going to get up here and complain and call it a conspiracy theory, the calls we've seen from these ACC refs, but it is pretty weird. It has to be flagrant. We just don't get roughing the passer and things like that. There was a play in the first half where DJU threw it. The guy's got him, takes 3 steps right in front of the umpire, and then power slams him 3 seconds after he threw the ball. No flag, but incidental contact, anything like from us, it just keeps getting it. Guys, welcome in. If you're just joining us to the FSU Voice of College Football post-game show, the instant reaction. It's also streaming over on my channel if you're over there. Florida State picks up their first win. It wasn't beautiful. It doesn't solve any of the problems, and I'm going to start crying and moaning here in about 20, 30 minutes, not even 20, 30 minutes, here in about 5 minutes when I start talking about the offense. But you can't be more prouder of what this defense did. We were talking about in the group chat, going back and forth. People are going to say, look, it's Cal. You're supposed to play good defense. But from what we've seen from this team thus far this year and what we've seen from Cal, I mean, you can't ask for any better than that. And again, they keep getting put in terrible positions. So could not be more fired up from the defensive line. I don't think Byron Turner had his best night, but I think the difference is you just are finally seeing everybody move at kind of the correct speed. There's no more kind of questions about, are these guys loafing? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? Guys are out there playing with their hair on fire. Get back to number 16. How about that sweet sequence where 16 comes into the game and their quarterback tries him immediately 3 times back to back to back to back, and he shuts him down. Really just amazing play from 16. You're going to have to go look. Ventrell Cypress, supposed to be this, supposed to be that. We really hyped up Azaria Thomas. Why not? I mean, 16, he looks like a different type of corner. To do that 3 times in a row against one of the better receivers on the team and man-on-man coverage with no help from a safety and play him that well, that was really a thing of beauty. A thing of beauty for sure. Mike Machado says, our D has played well enough to win every game. Our offense is gross. Ew. Well, hold on, man. I promised I would give 10 minutes of this show before I got into the offense. Youngins worked on defense, need more offense. The birth of a D. 1 down, 8 to go. Yeah, 1 down, 8 to go. That's right. Florida State is now 1-2 in the ACC, is able to do what we're supposed to do. All the shit on Twitter from the past week from these Cal people, these San Francisco cucks or whatever they are, it was pretty hilarious. I mean, if you are a Florida State fan that is on Twitter or even Facebook, in your workplace, it doesn't matter. Florida State, the big 3 of Florida, the amount of crap talking that goes on. The guys from Cal, they just weren't ready. They brought their little memes and their, whatever, bringing the woke or whatever it was. People online had a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of fun for everybody to make fun of Florida State when they're 0-3. But they came to Doak Campbell, and we heard the war chant blaring every 3rd down. How many false starts did they have? Cal had to have 10 false starts in this game. You want to talk about a soft factor? The war chant and that crowd on 3rd downs makes a difference. I don't care what anybody says. And it's a completely different atmosphere from the last 2 games. I saw a lot of people were kind of critical of 11. I'll have to go back and watch the tape. But, yeah, the edge play was not there from 11. He was a lot better. He played a lot better. He made a few tackles. He missed some tackles as he usually does. I'm still on this train of an 11-7 putting an or between their names. and possibly putting 13 on the other side. I'm not sure why we haven't made that move yet. And again, I'll have to go back and watch the film. But Marvin Jones Jr. in the fourth quarter, when we started getting them in pass only downs, and he got to get to turn loose as a true pass rusher, seems like he found something there too. Eddie Varnes Fishing says Farmer played well. Jackson, and he's not so happy about Jackson. Yeah, look, guys, I don't know. Again, it's hard to watch on the TV copy, but Farmer was making plays all night long, and the only time I noticed number 6 was when he was hurt on that play. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But we made it to 10:45, so now I'm about to go in on the offense. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I'll calm down a little bit, and we can have more mature conversation. But the offense. You take out that Ja'Kai Douglas Hail Mary play from DJU, and I'm curious. How do you feel in the chat? Do you feel like DJU solidified his spot? He showed you enough that, okay, Mike was right to start him in this game and not put Brock in there? Because I don't. I simply don't. I don't know how bad the other 3 quarterbacks are in practice, but for 3 quarters, like outside of one drop back, DJU was holding this offense back. It's not his fault. Whatever. He is what he is. I don't know if Mike Norvell, Alex Atkins downplayed the need for a mobile quarterback in this offense, but he is just stuck in cement. And people have been hard on this offensive line, rightly so. I've been hard on this offensive line, rightly so, all year. But what I've continuously said is the offensive line is far from the biggest problem on the offense. The starting running back was not getting it done. And for whatever reason, Lawrence Toafili was not getting carries. I have not heard this narrative on any other podcast. I haven't seen a damn article wrote about it. I haven't had one single person tell me why until the other day when I talked. I won't even say I talked to somebody, and then I talked to them again tonight. I sent him a text, and I was like, so tell me, what the hell is the reason Toafili wasn't on the field? And I got the same answer. I can't speak on it. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I didn't ask him. I don't think I can speak on it because it's not something that's out in the public. But I'm here to tell you, I don't understand it. And as far as I know, he hasn't been hurt. I was furious after the Memphis game. I believe it was the Memphis game. He gets 2 touches from the first half, one for 24 yards, the other for like 16 yards, and that's the last you freaking see him. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys have been with me for the past 2 years. We did the post-game show last year, all off season, over at the Renegade Report every Wednesday at 6 Eastern right here at FSU Football. I made a depth chart before spring practice, before the first depth chart came from the team, and I made a case for Lawrence Toafili being running back 1 with Roydell Williams behind him, Jalen Lucas starting at tailback with possibly 26 or somebody else behind him. I made that case, and the reason I made that case is for the simple fact that Toafili is the best running back you've got. So you had Trey Benson, you had Trayshawn Ward, and he was a perfect fit for that tailback spot. But that tailback spot, no matter how anybody tries to tell you it's the same, it's a running back position, but they just do a little bit of different things, it is devalued. It is a less important field on this offense. They rely on that running back 1, and they give him the ball. That's who gets to run it. And if you never get your running game going, that tailback just does not see the ball much outside of screens and things that just do not work in this offense, and they can't get blocked up because they couldn't run it up the middle. They could not run between gaps. They could not catch an edge and get an alley outside. They couldn't do it. Now, Toafili did. He just didn't get the reps. So all of a sudden, we go into this game, and what position did Toafili play tonight? Did Toafili play tailback, or did he play freaking running back? He played running back, and he had 90 yards rushing, or we had 90 yards rushing. Like at the beginning of the second quarter, we were running it down Cal's throat. Boom, 5-yard gain, DJ back 7-yard sack. Boom, 8-yard gain, moving down the field. Bad play by DJ, interception by DJ. Keeping it on his own read when he has no shot, DJ. Over and over and over again. So it's like, I don't mean to be negative, but the defense won that game. They won that game. The offense did not do very much of anything to win that game. It's like a miracle that Kai Douglas caught that ball. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being negative Nancy. But I just don't understand why Mike Norvell is sticking with DJU. I was a big fan before the season. I still like the guy. Maybe it's clicked. Maybe missing Alex Atkins was really that big of a deal. Maybe he can build on the confidence of that bomb, but I just don't know. You just make so many bad football plays. I don't see, like, you could put somebody out there that literally can't throw, but as an athlete, like, I've been calling for Toafili and the Wildcat all year. I'd like to see Trevor Jackson get a chance to run it. I don't see what the reason is you don't give somebody else a try. I won't, harp on that all night. But big shout out to the offensive line. Again, I'll have to replay it to see who exactly did what. But DJ, you had all day to throw the ball a lot of the times. Half the time he had 5 seconds to throw the ball. Half the time he was under pressure and things of that nature. But with the way we ran the ball in the first half, to not to be able to complete anything, to not be able to take advantage of the gaps in the run game. There was a play when the C opened up wide, and DJU made the right choice. He went to run for the first down. It was like 3rd and 8. He gets 5 yards up the field, looks and sees Maury Smith, backtracks 2 yards. Maury Smith is done. He was stopped. He was watching DJU run, goes 2 yards back, grabs Maury Smith. Come on, take me to the first down. Maury Smith finally gets his rumbling, stumbling, and it's short. If he would have just ran, he would have got 15 yards minimum. If he would have just hit one of those guys that were 2-3 yards behind the first down line, it would have knocked him backwards. But instead, like, it's the most inexplicable thing I've said. I'm not trying to go off, but I truly believe, and again, I'll say the same thing I've said the past 3 weeks. If you swap quarterbacks and Florida State can get the quarterback from the other team, this is a blowout. If we have Mendoza, blowout. Blowout. But that's just my opinion. I just do not understand what the hell Mike Norvell is thinking. I don't understand the play call when you're supposed to be running a 4-minute drill, and I missed the first play. Maybe they ran it on first down, but they passed it on 2nd and 3rd down, just going backwards and backwards, and just about gave Cal just enough to win it. And then you get your one bad, your one bad punt of the night, and you get a scare there. But luckily, of course, the defense stepped up. Let's see. Kevin Hickson says DJ playing not to get hurt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's it or not. There's no emotion there. He smiles when he makes a play, and I'm happy. Like, I want him to get fired up. When he made that throw, I made a tweet, and I said, beautiful throw. Beautiful throw. I think it's the first deep ball he's thrown in bounds all year. The interception, inexcusable. Inexcusable. That interception was the best pass protection I've seen FSU do in a decade. They stonewalled the line. Jalen Early started to get beat. His guy started to get past him, and Toafili came across the formation and hit him in the mouth. I mean, dude had a full, and threw it right to the defender. We have to have somebody who can make plays in those spots. If it means you take off and run, I don't know what it is. And maybe I'm just being ridiculous, and DJU is about to take off and kill it. But it's a good thing Mike won this game. I can tell you that. Because if he'd have lost this game, I'm not one for hyperbole, and I still don't think he would have been on the quote-unquote hot seat. I think he's going to be here for 1 or 2 years regardless of anything that happens. But had they lost this game, he would have done irreparable harm to his career, the longevity of his career at Florida State. I don't know if he hasn't with the win. You can't be that bad on offense. We're not going to beat many teams like that. But look, we got the win. Maybe this is what helps Florida State turn the corner. Maybe DJ, you can get a little confidence going. And maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's all of us podcasters' fault and Twitter's fault and all these things for freaking out and putting all the pressure on the kids. And maybe it's Nick Saban's fault for saying they're top 5. But it is what it is. We got to talk about what we see. And even in this game, the entire game, clean pocket around DJ, you can just see the fear in his eyes. He's just so scared to get rid of it. Kev says he's not a kid. Yeah, he isn't a kid. I'm getting old. That's how you know you're getting old, when you're starting to call 20-somethings kids. But But yeah, I get it. These guys all make a bunch of money. What I just don't understand is you see it on the defense. The defense guys went out there and they weren't performing. So we put Juice Cryer out there. We put Nicholson out there. We put Edwin Joseph out there. We put Quindarius Jones out there. Why can't we do the same shit on offense? We can't give Brock a series? He's that bad? If we can continue to keep running the ball, DJU will get opportunities, but it's just it's mixed bag. It's just a total mixed bag. It's a crapshoot. Like that deep ball, I feel like it was a lottery win. There was another ball. Woo! The guy completely torched him. He's running to the corner of the end zone, similar to that one. This one's a long ball. Really even an easier throw than that throw in the red zone that he missed to Darion Williamson. All he had to do was put a little air on it. If he would have thrown a rainbow, I mean, that was a guaranteed touchdown. So, like, the percentage on the deep balls, I don't know what his percentage is on the year. But what I saw tonight is not enough to solidify DJU as a starter. I want a quarterback competition, and I want to find out what Brock can do. Kev says he feels bad for Mac Brown. I've been so wrapped up in this, I haven't even looked at the news. Did they announce his firing after that game today, or he just feel bad because he got walloped? 70 to 50 or something? That was pretty tough. Pretty tough. I was joking. Like, I don't know. How many points you guys think we put up on UNC? I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. Loco says DJU doesn't have fun playing football anymore. Just my humble opinion. Hey, that makes sense, I guess. He has fun when he makes plays. I see him smiling, but outside of that, he just seems so miserable out there, so scared. You hate to see it. Again, we were super high on this guy going into the year, so you put up 14 on Cal. 14 on Cal. It is what it is. Yeah, I know that. I saw that 70 to 50. That's terrible, but I thought somebody said maybe Mac Brown had got fired, but I guess not. I guess it was just hyperbole. Oh, yeah, this is another one. Mike Machado says, I can't get over the go for it on fourth down, and we were in field goal position. I just can't get over that call. That's how I know he ain't the coach we need. Okay. I don't agree with the last sentence. I'm not going to put that out there. Although, every week I'm getting closer to it. But you have not scored the ball all year long. You're up 7-3 on Cal with like hardly any time left in the first half. They get the ball back. Like, I get it's a 56-yard field goal. But, like, if you don't think you can make the field goal, punt it. Like, I don't get it. It just seems like at every turn you're doing the best you can to lose the game. And it's easy to be a couch quarterback, yada, yada. But all the couch quarterbacks have been saying we want to see this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. And, again, we've seen them come out on defense, and they've played to their ability. They've done a damn good job. So I don't understand it. I never would have went for it on that fourth down. I would have kicked the field goal. Kev says, remember, George, there's a 21-point ceiling with DJ. It appears that way. I just don't understand what the coaches are seeing. Right about now, the post-game press conference, it should be going on. I made a tweet saying I hope the credentialed media takes it to Mike Norvell in this post-game press conference. Win or lose, like, yeah, you won the game, but Adam Fuller won this football game. There was zero complimentary football outside of that one touchdown again. Back to the Toafili in the run game, though. I think it's pretty much settled that Toafili needs to start at running back. Screw the tailback position. Start him at running back. Him and Cam look like the two guys the rest of the way. Roydell Williams in the first 3 games, for whatever reason, remained atop the depth chart on the offense. Again, the defense, we move guys around. We try different guys. On the offense, Roydell remained the starter until he got hurt to get pulled off the field. He hasn't broke a tackle all year or broke a big run or like anything. Meanwhile, you got a guy in Lawrence Toafili who was the MVP of the ACC championship game last year. Huge part of the best run you've had, the best team you've had. Again, I won't say what I was told about why he wasn't playing, but I don't get it. I don't get what we're trying to prove. I don't get the loyalty to the original depth chart, the guys you brought in from the portal, whatever they're making from NIL. I really don't care. It's just extremely disappointing. I can't remember a time in my life when FSU had worse quarterback play outside of a few quarters, maybe with JJ Cosentino. Maybe I'm thinking back to that 2021 season and misremembering, but I'm pretty sure Mackenzie Milton and Jordan Travis in that year were both like, maybe not Milton, but like, we almost beat Notre Dame. In those 4 games we lost to start that year, we were at least scoring some points. The defense was a lot bigger problem back then. Yeah, it's just big win against Cal. Let's see what they can do to move forward. We got Clemson in 2 weeks. You aren't beating Clemson scoring 14 points. Yeah, James Blackman. I'd take James Blackman in a heartbeat. So there's a lot of games left on the schedule. 8 games left on the schedule. To make a bowl game, you're going to have to win a couple tough ones. You got Notre Dame, you got Miami, you got Clemson. You're going to hit a bowl game, you got to win at least one of those 3 and all the rest. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens going forward. Our kickers score half of all of our points. Yeah. Let's see. 14, 12, 21. Have we scored 50 points yet? I don't think we've scored 50 points this year. I really don't. But sorry for being negative there. But yeah, I just had to call it out, man. At the end of the day, Florida State gets a win at home. Like, was DJ or was Jordan Travis being there? Was that the difference tonight? I made a tweet. I was like, no BS, no hyperbole. This is a good opportunity. Maybe JT can talk to these guys, get them fired up. That's one thing I will say. There's talk about energy not being there the first couple of games of the year. This team was fired up. They played with their hair on fire all night long. Again, offensive line getting Darius Washington looked a lot better early, looked a lot better than he had previously. He had a few penalties, but besides that, I don't know, maybe only one holding penalty. I think we had one comeback for holding. It was that holding call again on 69 that I didn't think was a hold. But yeah, Alex Atkins, you could certainly see the effect. And we probably don't win this game if Atkins isn't there, because the offensive line was much, much more in sync. The running game was much better prepared for. But there's just only so much you can do. Like, I hate to keep going back to this, but what the hell does Mike think that's going to happen that's going to change with DJU? Is he all of a sudden going to start to be able to run? Does he think these wide receivers are all of a sudden just going to not be the receivers they are? We've got a bunch of possession receivers. Like, I don't. Oh, here come the Miami folks in here for their big victory over USF. It's a real barn. You could tell when he moved the camera, and he is sweating. So he is outside for real. Yeah, no shit. I'm in the barn, guys. I'm not bullshitting you guys. We got 3 horses. Now you can see the horses. Let's see here. We don't have any Appaloosas, although I did get the opportunity to watch the Appaloosas. I can actually talk about this now. I couldn't talk about it when it happened because then somebody would show up and possibly try to poison them. If like a Florida fan or whatever, like a Harvey Updike situation. But no, it's a real barn. You say hey to the girls. What's up, girls? Say hey to the camera. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. The original thing, I was going to be out in the barn and we were going to be like, like I was going to point the camera at a pile of shit behind me and be like, this is what this team deserves. Here we are, 0-4. But given the circumstances, I decided, we'll just get a good shot of the barn there and the horses in the back. Who knows? Maybe I'll bring out the puppies to hang about so that we're not crying and moaning for the entire hour of this thing. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, as an FSU football fan, you just got to win. You got to win, baby. You got off the board. You started 0-4 in 2021. At least you can say didn't start 0-4 this year. Much easier schedule. But hey, overall, happy. Like what we talked about last week, what I talked about last week, and what I talked about all this week, the reason why I can't understand why DJU isn't being pulled out or why Brock isn't even being given a drive is that when you start the season 0-3 at Florida State, like everything's off the table. It's all off the table. So the priority becomes figuring out what you can build with, what you can do to make a run the next year, build for the future of the team. We got a big step in the defense. What I saw from the defense tonight, and, I was arguing with my friends when they were still kind of being kept negative. Like, no, that was an amazing defensive performance. I feel very good about the defense and where they can track. I truly think the defense will get better week over week, as Adam Fuller has always done with him. I believe his adjustments in the second half are going to get better and better. But here's the problem. Now, for whatever reason, the offensive line, whether it was Alex Atkins back, you're playing Cal, whether it's the fact you finally started Toafili, you ran the ball tonight. So if there's one thing the offense did, it did a lot better in time of possession. But, you still only scored 14 points. My point being, if you play somebody else and you're going a lot more 3 and outs. Like a lot of the drives tonight, you get 2 or 3 first downs running the ball, and then you throw it 3 times in a row, and then you get your 3 and out, or you go backwards, get a sack that you can't get out of. But yeah, I'm interested we'll have to get up and look later. But yeah, you just got to be able to score more points. There's just like this defense, special teams won this game in spite of the offense. And yeah, somebody said I don't sound happy. I'm not happy. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I'm happy that Florida State won. Like, that was a breath of fresh air. That was a weight on my chest. That is a hope that this team can get it going. But I don't see how anybody can watch that offensive performance and be happy. This wasn't Alabama. This wasn't Georgia. This is Cal. We put up the same amount of points as Auburn on Cal. Auburn is supposed to suck. They got Peyton Thorne. They're in like year 2 or whatever of a rebuild. And again, I hate to keep harping on this, but people have been real hard on the offensive line and the receivers, the tight ends, and everything like that. And yeah, Kyle Morlock, tough territory with all the drops that he keeps adding up. But as far as the rest of the wide receivers, the offensive line, the running backs, everybody did their job tonight, except for one person. I get he did it just enough to win. But again, to the defense, man, I talked really raggedy on you guys the past couple weeks, but y'all showed up and showed out. But in the game of football, people really like to point at one person, point at one side of the ball, point at this, point at that. And right now, I'm guilty of that. But it's a team game. You have to play complementary football. If your defense was just out there for a 58-play drive or whatever the case may be, you need to go out and get a couple first downs. You need to be able to do this. You need to be able to do that. Special teams, you need to be able to kick the ball deep, flip the field. Special teams did that. They hit their extra points. They hit their field goals. The defense continually gave the ball back to the offense. They would bend, but don't break. They never let one mistake turn into two mistakes, turn into three mistakes. Got beat on a deep ball, boom, another sack, another tackle for loss. I think we had 10 tackles for loss in this game, maybe 11. It was 9 at one point, and then when you got back down to the last 45 seconds, I was setting the show up. So I don't know if we got in there at the end. But yeah, complimentary football. And it's just really aggravating when you see all the bright spots on this team, when you see the defense coming together, when you see the offensive line starting to come together, when you see the hype on the sidelines, and you see one guy out there that is just kind of, it's like he's detached from the whole thing. And I'm going to quit. As far as DJU, I'm going to stand on where it is. I think there needs to be a battle for the quarterback position, and I think Brock deserves a quarter at the bare minimum to see what he can do. But DJU did enough to win the game. We'll see. Maybe he takes it to another level. But my issue is just that we don't have a team that can necessarily do it. We don't have the team that can that can make him be a successful quarterback. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mike was right the whole time. Maybe he should have waited. Maybe Brock is that bad at practice, but I sure would like to see him. Yeah, that was pretty inexplicable. The third and fourth down defense. It's something with Adam Fuller where he has all this success rushing guys and being real aggressive, and then you drop into a zone you haven't ran all night on 3rd and 14, and somehow there's a giant, like the whole entire zone, nobody is anywhere near the first down. You've got 4 guys behind it and a bunch of guys on the line of scrimmage and nobody in the middle of the field. Like, it's inexplicable, but I'm not going to harp too much on that. Like, the quarterback they had made some crazy plays. But yeah, 4th and 13, 3rd and 12, 4th and this. They converted a bunch of those. We converted a couple 4th downs. Pretty much if we're on 4th and 1, DJ, you can convert. Even 4th and 2 with that quarterback sneak. We had a false start on one, got one. But outside of that, just not much doing on offense, man. It just hurts to watch. But super, super fired up about the defense. Can't get around that. Like, that is did we hold anybody? What's the lowest point totals we held anybody to last year? Like, holding somebody to 9 points is a damn good job. So hats off to the D, man. After what we saw at Memphis, you worry, like, okay, is it just Memphis? He still lost the game, things of that nature. But yeah, I just had deja vu when they completed that 4th and 16 or whatever it was, when they were driving down. It's like, oh, y'all are great all game. Now you're going to fall apart. But no, they stiffened up their necks. They bowed up, and they got us the win. Couldn't be more happier with the defense. Adam Fuller. But again, it can't take you to the 4th game to figure it out. And Adam Fuller would probably argue with you, what do you mean? We only gave up this, and we only gave up that. We only gave up. It's not like our defense has given up a ton of points all year. Like, you deserve some time to get, like, work into things. But you can't do it all by yourself. Leftover Gaming says, honestly, Cal lost that game. We didn't win it. I don't agree with that at all. I think we dominated Cal, and almost gave it away is what happened. Like, we tried everything we could do to give it to Cal, but we held on. Cal did not make the plays to win this game at any point in time in the game until that 4th quarter drive when they got shut down. They did not do a damn thing in the red zone all night long. If they hit the 2 field goals, I guess they would have won it, but that's a totally different game if that happened. Yeah. Look how many penalties they got. Yeah, they got penalties because they couldn't block us. I mean, these referees are not like handing out. Like, I get it. Like when you're 3rd and 15 or whatever, backed up on your own goal line, like those things are going to happen. Whatever. I guess you could look at it that way. I disagree. But we appreciate the comments. We appreciate everybody hanging out. If you have any questions, now would be the time to get those off. As we got another 20 minutes here. I've got a 2% battery on my charge. I don't know if anybody wants to call in, but here, I'll put a comment up with the phone number. We may be able to get one call in if you guys want to call and make a comment or have a question on either channel, whether you're on here right here at the FSU Voice of College Football or if you're at the Renegade Report. Hit the bat line and I'll let you get up there and make a comment. We're not going to do any cursing or nasty stuff. That isn't how we get down on the Voice of College Football. But if you have a little 1-minute take or if you got a question, feel free to call in here in the next 5-10 minutes and we'll get you on the show. Still a mobile quarterback gashes us. I mean, yeah, but I don't. All the best defenses in the country, like Cal moved between the 20s, but I mean they didn't get any quarterback runs off in the red zone, did they? Like at that point you get a little silly. Like I'm not trying to call what you're saying wrong or whatever, but you can't complain about the defensive performance. I can't anyways. That we saw a defense that could compete at a pretty high level in the ACC, and you can't say so much for the offense. Hopefully Toafili's all right. He didn't see him as much in that fourth quarter, but that's the brightest spot on the offense for me was Toafili. I mean, Toafili balled out. He got the yards that were designed, and he got more. I didn't see a single play where Toafili went backwards. If it was blocked up, he got 5-10 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards. And if it wasn't blocked up, he torpedoed down for 2, 3, 4 yards. So Wilmer says the chat only works on the Voice of College Football. Sorry about that, guys. Usually I thought it did both, but yeah, if you're watching, I guess it only does work on the Voice of College Football, but we'll see. That shouldn't be like that. I'll give props to the defense, but I'm still not convinced against a Clemson, a Notre Dame, or a Miami. I'm convinced they'll compete. I'm convinced this defense, they could compete with anybody, all those teams you named. But they can't do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again if the defense keeps putting them or the offense keeps putting them on the field. You've got to be able to create time of possession against Clemson. Like, you don't have to win time of possession if you're making explosives like we have the past couple years and all these 80-yard touchdowns and 60-yard runs and quarterback taking off and things of that nature. It's all right to be behind on time of possession. That's how Ole Miss, does it. That's how they did it with Hugh Freeze back in the day is what I meant to say. A lot of these teams, the whole Baylor, there's been all kinds of people, air raid teams, hurry-up teams that do that. But yeah, nobody's calling anything elite. We're just climbing out of the cellar. But there are some young pieces on this defense that are really exciting. We're going to have to figure out what the defensive line is going to be next year. Really got to step up in the recruiting. You got to grab some guys out of the portal, do whatever you take. But as far as the linebacker position, you got 2 studs growing into that. You've got a stud in 33. You got a stud in 16. You've got 2 stud safeties in 24 and 12. So really, really hyped about the second and the third level of the defense in the future there, if they can continue to bring players in. But as far as the O line, pretty much everybody's gone or the D line, pretty much everybody's out of here. So D line stuff's going to be scary next year, judging by what would happen this year. So whenever that portal opens, I don't know, how many guys are hit. I don't know if you get a Sturton or a Kennard or this or that to hit the portal this year, but if they do, Florida State had better offer them the moon and the stars, because yeah, we're gonna have a good enough defense in the second and third level. But yeah, that's another conversation for another day. We'll see what happens with recruiting. At one point in time, we had 2 top 100 commits in the nation committed on the D line, and Myron Charles and Kevin Wynn. We'll see if those guys end up at Florida State, where they end up, who else they can pick up. But yeah. Eddie Barnes Fishing says, easy on 24, George. He is slow. Who's 24? 24. Talking about Roydell Williams? Roydell Williams, he was hurt. Kirkland, I thought he played damn good. So, anyways. If you're going to play this way, you have to have some 8-minute drives during the game. Absolutely. You had them. You had a couple of them this game for sure. But I don't know. This Cal team, they were 3-0. San Diego State, Auburn, those aren't big wins. But end of the day, what we've seen from this football team, it didn't much matter who we were playing. It's just about Florida State. We haven't seen this team play with fire and confidence until tonight. Yeah, I didn't say anything bad about Kirkland. Kirkland played damn good. I didn't see Kirkland get beat on anything tonight. Shaheem Brown got beat when he came in his position. But yeah. So I'm not sure what you're talking about on him. He's played damn good coverage and has been probably the best tackling DB in the secondary since he's came in the Memphis game. Kind of started this forward trend. So maybe I ought to go back and look at it, but we'll see. Bobby, the realistic Canes fan coming through. Congrats on the win, George. He's with us all the time, so he knows we needed this one. Congrats to you as well. I've seen USF get off to a hot start against Miami, but they put the thing together and ended up blowing them out. So that Miami FSU game this year is going to be something else. I sure hope it's not another one of those 52-10 years either way. Hopefully we can have one of those deals where Florida State's getting right at the right time, but we shall see. As it stands, I'm not talking shit to anybody. Miami, Notre Dame, Clemson, like the other person. Tight end still dropping passes. Is Landon Thomas hurt? Because Amari Williams, Landon Thomas, we heard all that about them. It's like I get Kyle Rodemaker. That's a good name for him. Kyle Morlock. I was super high on him. My buddy Jacob is a Florida fan, and he talked all the crap. He's not this, he's not that. Florida only offered him the walk-on spot. It turns out maybe he was wrong, or I was wrong and he was right. Because I want to take up for Kyle Morlock because he's been open and this and that. And as bad as DJU's been, it's hard to get targeted for the first time in the third quarter with a wounded duck. But no, that was the best ball DJU threw all night, right in stride, and that's tough. Johnny Wilson had a similar issue with drops, but he also caught balls and took them to the house. So, and as the year went by, he improved. So, guys, Florida State got a win. Fired up. So happy. It wasn't a win that you can tell lies on. Maybe I'll tell a little bit of lies on the defense. But, like, here's an example. We don't win this game without that. Was it a 4th down conversion or was it a 3rd down conversion where DJU drops back and threw up what was basically a Hail Mary? It was just a Hail Mary. The average or the broadcast booth was like, we have no idea who that was thrown to. I have no idea who that was thrown to. I don't think DJU had any idea who it was thrown to, but you're in a critical time to make a clutch play, and like he made it, but it was the same exact throw under the same exact look that he's had picked off 3 times this year. It was the same freaking look. He just got lucky. Maybe I'll go back. Maybe I'm wrong. Did anybody see that play? Because it sure looked like a freaking Hail Mary to me. And another critical play that we never win this game if we don't make is a out or a screen. I don't even know. Ja'Kai Douglas is all the way on, just sitting there at the 1st down marker. And DJU waits. And then when he finally throws it over there, he kind of lobs it in, puts a little touch on it somehow. Ja'Kai Douglas jumps up, brings it in. It's a huge play in the game. We go on to win. The announcer said, "Whoa, look at that laser." I'm like, laser? What the hell? What kind of laser? I've never seen a limp laser before. I've never seen a laser. You hit the button and it takes 3 seconds for the laser to come out. Like this, does this laser move at the speed of sound? Like, SMU, yeah. What did SMU end up doing? They had like 60 at the half on TCU. So it's not, again, it's not offenses that worry me. Like SMU's offense doesn't worry me. This defense could figure out a way to slow them down, but they're going to score points at some point in time. They're going to score some points, and what can the offense do? DJ was throwing to Mike. Yeah, I saw DJ throw to Mike one time. It was a good call on that one particular play, but it's like, I don't know. I feel bad being mean, steadily piling on, but it's painfully obvious for everybody watching it that it's just an anchor. Just an anchor. Yes, Quindarius Jones that they targeted 3 times in a row as soon as he came in the game. Ooh, Hail Mary, Colorado goes into overtime. Who are they playing? TCU? Somebody? No. I can't remember. I don't give a shit about Colorado, but guys, we've got about 9 minutes left. Let me go find this number, put it back up on the screen. Nobody took me up on it last time, but I'll give y'all another chance. If you want to call in with a question. Damn, y'all are commenting like crazy. I can't even find it. We sure appreciate everybody joining us right here at the FSU Voice of College Football. If you're not already subscribed and you're just subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe on your way back. We're here every night or every Saturday after the game for the Voice of College Football post-game show. It's also simulcast over on my channel. You can check it out there on the replay if you want. Somebody's talked crap about Colorado and how awful they are in the chat. Yeah, I talked a lot of that crap this off season too until I saw FSU. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything about Colorado. If we had Shedeur Sanders, we'd be undefeated. Make no mistake about it. Bobby's digging the barn background. I appreciate it, man. It's not a green screen; it's a real barn. But yeah, we're having fun with it. We're gonna do some different stuff this year. You know, not at Doak Campbell, but we hanging out in the barn. There's freaking dirt track racing going on, dogs barking, everything else. So hopefully the audio isn't too bad for you guys. But yeah, I think I've about covered it all. I think the Lawrence Toafili thing is the biggest kind of point of contention for me. Is like, if he wasn't hurt, like, what is it that's keeping this guy off the field? Like, you can't run the ball. Like, what did Roydell Williams do? How much money did Roydell Williams get paid? Because it hasn't been good. And everybody's been blaming it on the offensive line, and I get it. They've been bad, but I don't know. I've seen Trayshawn Ward and Toafili do it with the same or worse lines year after year. Toafili looked great running the ball tonight. Cam looked pretty damn good. He wasn't great early on, but he always fell forward. And as their defense started getting tired and they were running him in the fourth quarter, 3-4 yards. So I think we found a couple running backs, but it's inexplicable to me how this staff could be so far off on their evaluations of their own team. It's almost like they ended up paying NILs to people, and that's like kind of what is pushing it. And I pray to God that isn't it, because it doesn't really matter. If you're in the NFL and you're a quarterback making $20 million and the backup comes in and is 100 times better, or whatever the case may be, whatever, you can offload that contract. He's gone. You don't have to finish paying the $100 million. I guess since they're in for this NIL deal and it's not pay for play, they feel like they have to throw him out there like they owe him something. I don't know. But anyways, I thought you were near the stadium where Renegade comes out for a minute when I came in. You know, I forgot to tell that story. I started telling it earlier. But, yeah, I forget what hurricane was. I think it was Hurricane George. And they had to get the horses out of Tallahassee for whichever hurricane this was, because they thought it was going to be a dead hit on Tallahassee. So they brought them here, not at this barn at my house. But they'd have brought them to a barn here in Santa Rosa County for safekeeping. And my mom was the person that was in charge of feeding and watering them and taking care of them until they came back to get them. So yeah, that was pretty cool to get to spend some time with Osceola. And if you guys didn't know, it's not just Osceola. They still have the previous Osceola. They have like an alternate Osceola. They have the whole family. One of them is like 30 years old, going blind the whole 9 yards, but still taking great care of and loved and stuff. So anyway, that was pretty cool. Man, are you sure it's bad evals or just really underperforming? No, it's bad evals. I mean, the young guys are better. Point blank, period. The defensive line to some extent, but I guess Farmer was a lot more hurt than kind of made out. The announcers really hammered that, so I guess Mike Norvell hammered that, even though he doesn't really talk about these things, injuries, for reasons. But yeah, misevaluations. I mean, they look at who they started at linebacker. They had no idea who the best linebackers are. They had the best linebackers at the bottom of the depth chart. Look at Edwin Joseph and Kendarius Jones. Like, I don't look at KJ Kirkland. He's been I don't get it. Look at DJU. I don't. Mike said DJU is exactly what we thought he was, and he's the perfect guy to come in here and run this offense. If that's not misevaluation, I don't know what the hell it is. Isn't that hot to a woman country as well? George has met her in real life. I'm not sure. She's Jewish, so I don't know how country she is. I think she's more just a college kid, but she does have that country accent. She says her mom's a crackhead and all this stuff. That girl is an enigma. She seems like a plant to me, but I don't know. She certainly has the southern drawl, and I'm all about that. And Georgia girls, especially, you Georgia ladies out there, if there's any Florida State fans watching in Georgia, yeah, I like that Georgia accent. You get up there around, what is it, Dalton, Georgia, up there somewhere. Anyways, Savannah, things like that. But back to football. Mike Norvell throwing out lies. DJU is not doing the best for this team on the field. Yeah, I could not agree more. And yes, she is. I couldn't believe it either. But if you go watch her podcast on Bill Maher and things like that, she's like, I haven't watched a ton of it, but I've watched a bunch of the short clips, and she's out there. She is not your typical Southern Belle. She's from Tennessee. Okay, that explains the accent for sure. But yeah. Omar Graham Jr. should never be on the field. They called out a tackle by him, but I'm not sure if he was actually on the field, if that was Juice that made the tackle or not. I don't know if he's still hurt or not. But I did not. 9 did not stand out for me. I did not notice him on the thing. At the risk of all the hate, and I get it, but I thought DJU looked a little bit better tonight. A lot of it was on the O-line, though. They can't pass protect to save your lives. I'm going to tell you to go back and rewatch the tape. Can't pass protect to save your lives. You're not supposed to have to pass protect for 8 freaking seconds. You're supposed to pass protect for 3 seconds. How many times has DJU got the ball out of his hands in less than 3 or 4 seconds? Like, I get it. They haven't been to just cram it down your throat, this or that, but they have given him more than enough opportunities. It is what it is. But, like, he did play better. I'll give you that. He played better. He hit that long shot. He didn't end the game, even though he did throw the pick. But, like, if you're not going to provide touchdowns as a quarterback and you're going to consistently turn it over to let the other team score, think about it. He's thrown less touchdowns than he has given up points off turnovers. Like, the points off turnovers versus points accounted for by DJU has to be a giant negative. So, yeah. But, yeah, he definitely looked better. But, yeah, he had all damn day today. the incremental growth has not been enough. It has not been enough. I did not see enough in that game. It's going to be very interesting to go back after this, and we're almost done. But yeah, Florida State with a win at the end of the day, that's good enough. That's a start. Maybe they can figure out something with the offense. Maybe this is the final straw. Maybe they decide to try something. I had a feeling Mike Norvell was going to wait till Alex Atkins got back. That's what I've been saying the past 2 weeks. Don't expect to see Brock. But I also said it was going to hurt his long-term career if we saw the same thing this week and Brock didn't get snaps. Well, we didn't see the same thing this week. Brock didn't get snaps, and we won. So it's kind of wash. It's just, it is what it is. If he's going to keep starting DJU, we had better win a couple games because, yeah, it's anything but we expected going into this year. But again, we got a victory. So it is what it is. I guess I'll leave you guys on that. I don't see any more questions. Go Noles, baby. Go Noles. And we don't have to show the we suck again meme or anything today. We can just kind of leave you guys with a countdown or something like that and call it good. Anyways, go Noles. We'll see you guys next week.